Friends, we're living in perilous times. Right here at home and abroad, we've got a situation that we've got basically the beginnings of a civil war right here at home. And it's in all kind of fashions, my friends. We're looking at right now wars with ICE basically and Antifa and other groups. It's heating up. It's getting off the charts. We've got the British. Keir Starmer just came out and announced that everybody in Great Britain will have to take a digital ID or they will not be able to work, to buy, to sell. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like something out of Revelations? Ah, yeah. And we got maybe the prophetic peace treaty coming up. Um, this is really off the charts. All the things happened, World War III, Armageddon, Civil War, all the things that we're looking at right now are just beyond, it boggles the mind. But I was a study when I was a kid. I used to listen to Garner. I'm going to go all in this. I'm going to show you a bunch of articles and stuff. Uh, the times that we're in right now are exceedingly troubling. They churn my stomach, to be frank about it. I'm going to pull this up and see where we're at in the chat room, my friends. But this is so unsettling that it's really got me. It's really got me. Um, and I'm just hearing new news every day, and it all is churning my stomach. And we just got to be ready. But we got to be ready spiritual. This is a spiritual war. What I'm starting to say, I'm going to go into several articles on several topics with a lot of background to this. We're going to go all over the map with some interesting discussions. A little backdrop. When I was a kid, I mean, school age kid, I mean, like before I was in middle school, I was listening to prophecy. I was listening to Gardner Ted Armstrong for one, because he used to talk prophecy. He was on the radio every day with this program, and he was talking about, Book of Revelations a lot. And I was always interested in the Book of Revelations. And in fact, the time I was late middle school, I bought the late great Planet Earth, which is written in, I believe, 1970 by Hal Lindsey. I read that book, and it had a lot of conclusions about prophecy. Now, there are many other interpretations of the Book of Revelations and they each, make a lot of points in their cases. The Book of Revelations is very hard to interpret. And a lot of people say, we got the answers, but it is a difficult nut to crack. And a lot of times we look at it from the prejudices, the worldviews that we have. And so that may make it more difficult. But a lot of the things that's coming to pass seem to fit. That may be intentional for some reasons or otherwise. But the gravity of everything that's happening is coming at us every direction, right here at home and abroad. And I submit that's intentional. That's the scary part. I submit it's intentional. So you need to listen to this broadcast because we got to be prepared mentally and physically. And what are we going to do if they come to us and tell us to take the digital ID? Sure, we can always say we're not going to do it, but what are we going to do then when you can't work, when you can't pay your taxes, when you can't buy, sell? Might be good to figure out ways to barter, for one. Bartering may be your way through it for a while, but eventually, what happens? You can't pay your property taxes. Sooner or later, even if you got a place, you may be on the road, but then you can't buy gas. And you may have some friendships and some alliances, an underground economy. The Left Behind series, which is kind of an interesting series of books. I thought that some of their precepts were a little goofy, but it may be something of a roadmap for how people can build coalitions to get through these bad times that may be ahead of us. And we're talking, there ain't no other YouTube channel talking this, not this way. How you prepare for when you can't pay any kind of bill. How do you prepare for that? When you can't pay your property taxes, how do you pay for that? Seriously, these may be the things we're looking at. And I'm sorry, I believe in post-trib rapture, not pre-trib. Got my reasons for that. You believe whatever you want. But like I said, I was a study of, listening to Garner Ted Armstrong for years, and listened to his dad, Herbert W. Armstrong, a little bit later. And, I'm not saying I subscribe to everything they put out, no. And, the book, Late Great Planet Earth, and quite a bit of that stuff. It's interesting. Let me just put it that way. They put it, and there was a lot of other things that came out that was interesting. And like I said, there are many other interpretations. Of course, their interpretation was that the Antichrist would come out of Europe, especially, the city of Seven Hills, which you take to be Rome. There are several other things from these interpretations. Now, a lot of interpretations have it that Nero was the Antichrist, and the millennium was the period from, I guess, the Council of Nicaea into the fall of Constantinople, which was 1,000 years. And, actually, Rome was considered a Christian kingdom. Take it or leave it for what you will. To me, it seemed to be somewhat Pharisee in structure. But, and I would say even a lot of our modern organizations have similar characteristics. So, don't put your faith in man. I don't care where he comes from. That's probably the bottom line. No matter what organization, no man deserves your full faith and confidence. Nothing from this world is deserving of that. That's my bottom line going into this. Trust no one even. The stuff in the politics today has got my stomach churning. It's just got me churning, guys. It's just hard to swallow what they're throwing at us. Yeah, the digital ID is coming out, guys. They're going to try to force it starting in England. But this thing could gravitate. Now, it's interesting that the same guys who led all the people across the border into England, who's created the chaos there, there's a Hegelian dialectic. You want something? Well, you create a problem, and then you offer the solution. But that solution was what you wanted all the time. The problem was created so that you could offer the solution. Everybody in the great misery might take it. Well, the digital ID. Hey there, we got an awesome super chat here from Kenny Crowder. Let me check this out real quick. Long time, Greg. Just happy to see you alive and safe, friend. Thank you. Love your way. I'm not saying I got the answers, guys. But I got some disturbing questions. And like I say, this stuff's got my stomach churning. And I'm not saying that Hal Lindsey had the right interpretation, but he worked at it. He come up with some. I'm not saying Garner, Ted Armstrong, and their crowd way back in the 70s, the stuff they were talking was exactly right. No, I'm not saying that either. Like I said, some think that, those prophecies have been mostly fulfilled. Some say that the second coming of God, Jesus, was the day of Pentecost. Some people say that's why that Jesus said, he would arrive within, some people would still be alive that was listening to him. So, that was an interesting dichotomy. It's like, okay, well, he mentioned that in sermons, and, it seems that he hasn't come back yet. And is somebody still alive 2,000 years later? I don't know. Maybe there's something we don't know. But there's some interesting things here. That, how do you fit it all together? How do you fit it all together? And does it fit together? And then there's that whole 3 world wars scenario that we learned about from a Chilean bishop. I think his name is Alan D. When he revealed the Pike letter. He said he saw this letter from Albert Pike to Giuseppe Mazzini back, and he wrote about this back in, I believe it was back in the 20s. And he talked about this plan for 3 world wars. By that time, one had already occurred, and the Balfour Agreement had already been signed. So some vector could already be seen in this. But he described 2 world wars yet to come. So, it's a lot of people looked at that letter and says, well, so there's some things that don't fit because he was using language that didn't fit the language of 1871 when the letter was supposed to be written, and talking about Nazis and things like that. There was some lingo that just wasn't there at the time when that letter was written. So, but it might have been that he took what he knew and kind of interpreted it, because what we have is not the actual letter, but what he wrote. So the oddball thing is the Balfour Agreement that was beginning, which really started the road for that founded the current day state of Israel, was orchestrated by the Rothschilds. And the Rothschilds are also said to have been behind Adam Weishaupt, who in 1776 made the first, started another organization that a lot of people point fingers at, the Nadi Alumi. I said it kind of backwards, twist the words around, just tongue tangle the algors that have no rhythm, if you know what I mean. Also, I got a problem with this channel. I may be on the verge of getting totally taken off. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, I've challenged something, and when you challenge something, it puts you at risk with YouTube. But anyway, so these are things that, see, the things that was really odd. He described the Second World War before it happened. He described the creation of the state of Israel. And according to that letter, the whole thing was set up to create the format for the third and final war, which would be a big world war that would be so great and so exhaustive that in the end, everybody would accept Lucifer, which Albert Pike wrote about, is Lucifer as being the god. He did write that in his Dogmas book. So, we could be heading that way, and especially when you look at digital ID and you look at all these things happening right now in the world. They've got us tied up every way you can turn, and they're coming after us right here in this country. They're attacking conservative people. They're and back and forth. The biggest faith under attack is Christianity. So these are all things that we need to be prepared for. Magna Carta. These are things that we all need to be prepared for. And so, a lot of us, a lot of people of the faith, have a lot of, compassion for Israel as the apple of God's eye, as they describe it. But the current state of Israel, its creation, and there are Orthodox Jews that don't accept the current state of the creation because they say it wasn't called for by God. If it was called for by the Rothschilds, was that being called for by God? Think about it. There's a case, a highly suspicious case that dealt with a ship that we had called the Liberty, USS. I got to be careful. That's a forbidden topic here, apparently. There's just a lot of questions to be asked, and it's like everything happening kind of fits the three wars scenario, more or less. Now, maybe Alan Dean, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I think it's Carlos Alan. Now I may be getting him mixed up with another guy. There's another guy that had a very similar name that was one of the UFO. No, one of the guys that was claiming Philadelphia was experiment stuff. So I may be getting these two guys' names mixed up. But it's a lot to look at here. A lot to look at. And I'll also be talking about a little bit about a book called The Antichrist in a Teacup, which I read that content about around the year 2000, about the time it came out. So we'll mention that too here. So there's just a lot of things we're going to look at. And there may be we may know who the guy is. There may be an indicator. We don't know absolutely, but there may be some things that are starting to develop. Oh yeah, there's been people that have written extensively that the Antichrist is going to come out of the Mideast. Now, it's interesting that the Islamic prophecies almost match Revelations, but they're like a negative image of it. I said almost, but it's different. But we're hurdling towards something. If even if it's not all this digital ID, even if that guy has nothing to do with Revelations, it's not good. It's total control. It's into the hive. It's into the hive. Hey, John Cole. Colonel Cole's in the house. There's nothing good about it. Digital ID, you combine that with central bank digital currencies or the digicoin. I said we're looking at putting our dollar into becoming some kind of digital coin. Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack here. I got more questions than answers, but the bottom line is we have to prepare ourselves spiritually, physically, mentally. And what's coming at us is going to be hard to deal with. I can't sugarcoat it. You got to get ready. We may be in World War III starting in just a matter of days, especially the secret meeting of the generals. And I just did a video on that on Green Graves. In the secret meeting of the generals, some saying, well, that's just going to be a rah-rah meeting. We're going to talk, Hexus going to spend an hour talking to all the top generals about warrior ethics. I told you would never know the reality of the meeting. I'll never tell you what was covered. There'll be a cover story, and that's kind of a lame cover story. I'm sure they'll invent a new cover story after the meeting, but it'll be a cover story once again. Unless you see missiles flying, then there's no need for a cover story at that point. But I imagine at least that'll take a day or two. I mean, the generals have probably got to get back to their command post, but you don't call all the top brass from around the world just to have a lecture about warrior ethos. You could have done that in any fashion. Now, apparently, there's thoughts that our comms have been compromised by China. I'm sure they have been. They've hacked just about everything. So maybe it's the case that they've got to do this in secret, whatever it is. So certain somebodies won't find out. And again, to me, that points the finger toward World War. But there may be martial law here at home. So the whole prospect of what's coming down could be coming really soon. Having the National Guard going around about, it might be a prelude to that. But, we've got an immigration issue, but this may have, that was allowed under Biden and Obama, but it may be part of the bigger Hegelian dialectic. It may be just part of the program, part of the plan, and both sides may be going along with it, in order to accomplish some particular aim, like we're seeing in England. Same guys that let them in now have come up with this as the solution. And there's a lot of protests. A lot of people in England aren't happy. Well, their protests rise to the level of being successful in thwarting the effort to put them under this regime. Let's hope it does. Maybe we got some people in the House in England. Maybe some will watch. Well, I'll say United Kingdom. I mean United Kingdom. Maybe some of the people will be watching from the United Kingdom and be able to, take appropriate steps to keep that from coming down upon them. They did manage to pull United Kingdom out of the European Union, which was a good step. That was a step away from the globalist direction, but this other step is a step back into the globalist direction. And wait till you see some of the people that are involved in this. I'm going to show you this stuff. And some of it won't surprise you. Some of it might, but you shouldn't be surprised by any of it. It's disgusting. That's the only way I can. It's just absolutely disgusting. These people actually oppress themselves. Yeah. 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 Anyway, this is absolutely disgusting. I'm going to just start showing you these articles. Hit the share screen, guys. Let's see if I get it where I want it to be first. No, I don't. Ding, ding, ding. Put it right there. I'm going to skip around a little bit. If I can make this come open. Come in here and hit the share screen button. I gotta move my screens around a little bit. Oops, where's my share screen button? There it is. Give me a minute. There's a lot of stuff open. We're going to start with ICE wars. Well, we got a problem. We got a lot of illegal immigrants. A lot of them are members of drug cartels that have been responsible for the passing away of 250,000, quarter of a million Americans, wrecking our economy, doing a lot of damage. And they need to be got out. We got sleeper cell agents in this nation. They need to be gotten out. Those guys first. I'd say sleeper cells. That's where we really need to be focusing, is on the sleeper cells. Anyway, so we may be on the verge of war again with Iran. We got Venezuela coming up, China, Russia. We may be at war with everybody right here at home. This is just, whew. Anyway, Trump orders deployment of troops to Portland to authorize full force. Now, here's the governor of Oregon saying, "Oh, we don't need this. We don't need this." So she's claiming that we got everything under control, but they don't. That's just her talking. And they had the senator there from Oregon also posting a picture of the ICE facility in the morning. All the bad stuff's happening at night. Sure, it's calm that morning. He said, "Hey, nothing's going on here." So her name is Kotek. I won't say it here, but her name is Kotek. Anyway, she's an Oregon governor. She said, "Oh, we don't need this. We don't need it." But then again, what's really cooking? I've got this dumb screen in my way. I have to keep moving stuff so I can just change my tabs. There we are. So, yeah, Tina Kotek. That's what made all these pop-ups. She says, "There's no insurrection. It's no real threat to national security. There's no need for military troops in our major city. I'm going to continue communicating that to the president. I hope he will be open to reconsidering deployment." Well, it's about protecting the ICE agents who are being attacked. And she's totally ignoring that. They've ordered the police there in Portland, the mayor did, ordered the police to not be involved anywhere where ICE is involved, to back off. So this Portland is essentially like the headquarters of Antifa. Now wait, Antifa's got a big plan for tomorrow. This is why I'm covering this tonight. I say tomorrow. I guess it's already tomorrow, sometime later today or the next night. You can expect there might be mayhem. They're calling for all their people all over the country to come there and to act, whatever method they're going to act in. So we could see this get real ugly in Portland, real ugly, real fast. And they got that Senator Ron Wyden, and he's the one that put out the picture from the ICE facility one morning. Look, see, nothing's happening here. But just right now, my understanding is I've seen some snips of some live video that it looks like they got a major protest going on right now, and it will probably get really ugly in the next 24 hours. Good chance. I hope it don't, but the prospects are there. I would not want to be anywhere in that area. I would not want to be in Portland, point blank. They had a guy who, just because he had a MAGA cap on, somebody walked up to him behind him, boom. That happened, I think, in 2020. But, this is the kind of stuff that is happening, guys. And we expect to see more of it, just like what happened in Dallas. We just had two major assassinations within a couple of weeks. And it's interesting. The guy in Dallas, he didn't get any ICE people. He got some of the immigrants, which, allegedly they want to protect, right? That whole thing is nuts. This whole thing is just nuts. Anyway, so let's go on here. I want to check the chat room more in depth here in a little bit, guys. So, what did that senator say? He says maybe replan the 2020 playbook and surging to Portland. You know, remember what happened in 2020? Portland got real ugly in 2020. So, guys, now here's a character. Let's just play what he's got to say. This gives you an idea of what ICE is up against. Now, you'll understand why there's several lawmakers trying to pass laws at the state levels to prohibit the ICE members from wearing face masks. There's a reason to wear face masks. It's because they're getting attacked personally. And when you hear this guy, you'll understand that. Oh, I turned the sound off on this computer. Hang on. Let me see if I can end the sound on this thing and then play it over there. Yeah, I just didn't want this sound interrupting. Now I can turn on the sound on the main computer. Give me a second, guys. Too many things to hit here.
Agents out there today. When Donald Trump's reign of terror is over, we will be rounding you all up and putting you in jail. We're going to raid and destroy your homes. We're going to handcuff you and take you away in front of your families for breaking the Constitution of the United States of America. That's why we hold cameras to your face.
You're some kind of a judge? Are you the Supreme Court?
We can have facial recognition for when Donald Trump's out of office.
Yeah, they want pictures of their face. You hear him?
I'm going to turn on you. Me personally, I'll fight a fucking ICE agent. There's nothing illegal about. They are hiding their faces. They could be criminal. I'll take my chances in court. Fuck around and find out.
I'm sorry for the language, guys, but that's the way these people talk. They're crude, making threats against people's lives, livelihoods, or homes. People who are doing the job that they were hired to do for what the public elected to have done. The elected Donald Trump, and their main issue was immigration. They wanted it over, stopped the illegal immigration, and they want these bad guys out of this country. But this side, you know, they want to keep them here. Like the so-called Maryland man who was a member of MS-13 and trafficking people, beating his wife, but they wouldn't refer to him as being where he was from and all that. Oh, he was the Maryland man. You see how their narrative goes. Anyway, more to it. Well, I hate it when the stuff wants to reload like this. I just had it up. Is it going to reload? Yeah, here in a little bit. Sorry about this, guys. Had it dialed up. Let's hope it comes back to where I had it. Yeah. Oops, I can't play that video. That's got violence in it. I don't want to play that. Well, that's just a show there. Yikes. Here it is. Well, they've already got the Department of Homeland Security rolling into Portland in armored vehicles. You can see the ICE facility there is all boarded up. It's all boarded up with plywood because they've been getting attacked. They've been getting attacked. And then, again, there's the governor making those statements. But look at this, guys. Feds out of Portland, ICE out of Portland, rally at the ICE facility. And so they want everybody there. This Sunday today, this is an Antifa poster they put out calling for all their people to come up there. But there's riots in Illinois and other places right now. And it's getting ugly fast. And I've seen some live video on that. I'm not going to play that. I'll show maybe some of the precursor, what they were doing earlier. Comes up. I want to show the really ugly stuff on there. You get in trouble if you show violence. I'm trying not to do that. and I'm trying to make it sure everything's fair use. It's either going to be from public domain or something I'm going to editorialize with just short viewings of. Oh yeah. Oh, I got to hit that Starmer. That was, I had something else dialed up here, but it didn't come in what I had dialed up. Anyway, we're going to go into the digital ID in a little bit. Maniac outfitted with massive arsenal. Well, he rammed an ice truck, an ice vehicle with his vehicle in New York City, and they found that he had a lot of stuff in his vehicle. He just rammed into one. He was heavily armed. Apparently planning to do more than just ramming trucks, guys. Now, I talked to you guys about barter, having gold you can hold, especially in fungible amounts like the gold back may be a good way to go, but you can definitely barter with that. And even in a day when there's digital currencies, if you got some of this, people might take it. So if you go to defythegrid.com, you can buy silver, you can buy gold, buy coins, rounds, and if you find a better price anywhere else, a meter or beat it, it's because they work on 3 to 4% margin. Most places work on at least a 7% margin and have tough time surviving at that. So, but the goldbacks, those come in, the denominated in thousandths of a troy ounce of gold. And that means that you could put these in your wallet and fold them in, and you can trade them, barter them for smaller items, everyday type items. And they got a silver version too, by the way. You can buy silver coins, bars, whatever you want to get there. Use the discount code GreenGregs and get 1% off. Some people was chastising me on that, but the operation only operates on a 3-4% margin. That's the best you can hope for. Because they're already giving you the best deal you can find. So that cuts into their skinny margin. So use the discount code GreenGregs. Now, there's other stuff. I meant to come to this later. I was going to show that later. We'll come back to that. Let's go over to the whole business of the digital ID. Yeah. Okay. I got more of this stuff I don't want to load. Well, basically, Keir Starmer has come out and said, we're going to have the digital ID. It's going to be effect by 2029. Everybody's going to have to take it. Let's see if we can play him because he's a government official. This should be fair use. Allow us to play it. Let's see. Yeah, everything's running slow tonight for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of what I'm covering. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about Schwab too. Yeah, Schwab is not going to escape our attention tonight if we can get through here. What is going on with this stuff? Klaus Schwab is on our agenda tonight. Bill Gates is on our agenda tonight. Oh, good grief. Well, this don't want to load. I may just kill this thing. But basically, Keir Starmer just came out and said, hey, Great Britain, United Kingdom, excuse me, you're going to be taking a digital ID or you're not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to eat. You're not going to be able to get health care, anything. I'm going to kill that one. I think that one should have just had the graphic on all the areas of the economy it hit. Jeez, come on. Nothing. I really hate it when you have something pulled up just a few minutes ago and you come back and it wants to reload. That's one problem with X. Now, it didn't even come before I had it. I didn't have nothing about sports. I don't ever watch anything on sports. I don't even like sports, I'll be honest. That bugs me. That is not what I had up. I had something specific. Now, if they all do this, I'm just going to close all the X's. Jeez. Now, here's one. Okay, we got him. Who's this? Who is this guy?
And of course, we need some sort of digital certificate because
we're likely to say to people working in nursing homes or hospitals or maybe even schools that they need to authenticate that they've been vaccinated, and even travel will have some of that. So it's exciting that Pfizer did a great job.
Oh, look, it's exciting, boy. He's just all excited. See, he likes this digital ID stuff. There's a sense it's going to be an effective tool against poverty. And who's driving it? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They got Kenya sucked into this. This is going worldwide, guys. There's your buddy Keir Starmer, excuse me. Now it's mandatory digital IDs by 2029, tying your right to work with the government database, right out of Orwell's 1984. Yeah, maybe the Book of Revelations. I don't know if that's a video. That's something to play. No. We had the video dialed up. Well, just to simplify things, I'm going to kill that link. The more links I kill, maybe the better things will. Now, this is from the House of Klaus. This is one of his minions, Euro Noah, talking about digital implants. I think I might have killed the link. I think maybe.
I don't think it's critical, because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. We want to stop this epidemic. We need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin. What we have seen so far is corporations and governments collecting data about where we go, who we meet, what movies we watch. The next phase is the surveillance going under our skin. We now see mass surveillance systems established even in democratic countries, which previously rejected them. And we also see a change in the nature of surveillance.
Even in democratic countries.
Previously, surveillance was mainly above the skin. Now it's going under the skin.
Under the skin. They don't get inside of you.
Not just where we go or who we meet. Above all, they want to know what is happening under our skin. What's our body temperature? What's our blood pressure? What
business is it of theirs?
Now humans are developing even bigger powers than ever before. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are requiring
humans into gods
to re-engineer life.
Well, yeah, re-engineer life.
Animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket.
They don't like soul. They don't like free will.
This is my free will. That's over.
It's over. You hear that? Free will. Your soul is over. Because what? They want to take your soul.
I mean, all the story about Jesus rising from the...
See, he is the lead advisor to Klaus Schwab, was.
And being the Son of God. This is fake news. I know that in the
Jesus, fake news.
Recent years, we saw populist politicians undermining deliberately the trust that people have in important institutions like universities.
Oh, I think the institutions are the ones that undermined the trust, not the politicians. They're just reflecting what we're telling them. Some of them.
Respectable media outlets. These populist politicians.
Respectable media outlets. You gotta be kidding me. Holy smoke.
Told people that, say, scientists are this small elite.
Yeah. Oh, well, we got Klaus in there too. I think he's in the same thread. I hope I didn't kill the one that had him in it. There he is. Oh yeah, I was talking about our diets. You know, eating the bugs. Implanted microchips. Now this is in Japanese, but they got the subtitles here, so I'm going to try to open this up.
On va les implanter dans nos vêtements, c'est-à-dire
Au bout de ça, on parle de puces qu'on pourra s'implanter.
Read the subtitles.
certainement dans les 10 années à venir.
The next 10 years. He said this a few years ago. 2016, 9 years ago.
Après, on Mais imaginez qu'on les implante
Plant them in our brains or in our skin.
et à la fin, peut-être il y a une communication directe
Direct
entre
communication
notre
to our
cerveau
brain
et
and
le monde
the
digital.
digital world.
Ce que nous voyons, c'est une sorte de fusion du monde physique, digital et biologique.
On appelle quelqu'un, on n'a même plus le réflexe de devoir prendre un appareil, ça se fait naturellement. Hein. La technique continue le
You see where they're aiming?
corps.
Oui, vous parlez et vous dites, je veux maintenant être connecté avec n'importe
Be connected with everyone.
qui. Et d'abord, vous avez
First, you'll have
les
personalized robots first. First, you'll have personalized robots. Well, we see that coming.
robots personnalisés et j'ai vu que M. Zuckerberg
And I saw that Mr. Zuckerberg, what?
a prédit que
Predicted
à la fin de l'année,
that. Well,
il
that
va
ain't by the end
avoir
of that
son
year, but
robot, son butler personnalisé
Ouais.
qui est à sa disposition.
Comme dans
robot
Dark,
butler
on
by
a-
itself is not such a bad thing, but it's the vector where they're trying to take us.
Butler personnel, son serviteur, son esclave.
Oui, mais il y a une différence. C'est un serviteur qui, avec
Servant that with AI learns.
l'intelligence artificielle,
Anyway, he goes on and on, but that's the end of this video. Well, he's talked about that implant stuff on several occasions. So I'm not making this stuff up, guys. I am not making this stuff up. It's just going to load. Probably taking some nonsense again. Let's see. Is it going to bring me back to what I had brought up? No. Jeez, I'm just going to close it. I had some things specifically dialed up. Anyway. So now Trump is urging the end to the war in Gaza. And he's actually got a plan. Some of the articles as well. How's he going to do that? Well, he actually has a specific plan that could work. And Lord knows we need to end that. So he's got truce, and let's don't go into detail on it. But I think this next article does. He's got a 21-point plan, 3 times 7. Yeah, see there. U.S. unveils 21-point peace plan, Israel to exit Gaza and Hamas to disarm. I'll come in here. Anyway, I'll read it all, but here's 21 points. Gaza will transform into de-radicalized terror-free zone. The Strip will undergo redevelopment, proving the lives of the residents. Should both sides accept hostilities will cease immediately. Israel suspended military operations, beginning a phased withdrawal from Gaza. Within 48 hours, Israel's public acceptance, all hostages, both living and dead, will be returned. Following the hostages, it goes on. There's 21 points here. Careful reading, even though they're his plans. The distribution of aid will be managed solely by neutral international bodies, United Nations, Red Crescent. Uh-oh. It's trying to get me out of here. If y'all are seeing this, that's like it's not responding, but you're still seeing it. Comprehensive economic plan will be launched to rebuild Gaza. Special economic zone will be created. No resident will be compelled to leave Gaza. Those who choose to depart will retain the right to return, while residents will be encouraged to support and supported to remain and contribute to rebuilding. Yeah, but what they're also saying is, you can't be Hamas. Hamas will be excluded from governance. All offensive military infrastructure, including tunnels, will be dismantled. New leadership will commit to peaceful coexistence with neighboring states. And it goes on and on. There's 21 points in there. But U.S. will facilitate dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians, So this is a structured de-radicalization program being introduced, including interfaith initiatives. Just trying to get everybody in one faith. I don't know. What faith is it? So what does all that mean? Now, from the book, Late Great Planet Earth, written by Hal Lindsey, He thought that the Antichrist would establish the peace plan. I don't think Trump is the Antichrist because supposedly the Antichrist was going to come out of Europe and be of Jewish descent, at least in some fashion. Although you might recall that England and other countries have put forth, and even Garner and Ted Armstrong used to put forth that both England and the United States were descendants of the 10 lost tribes, two of them in particular, tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh, if I'm saying that right. So I think that's a stretch, but we'll go into that a little bit more. The King of England has, since the year 1291, something like that, been sworn in on the throne, built by, I believe it was Edward I, King of England, that has the stone of scone underneath it, which they claim was the pillow of Jacob. Analysis of the stone suggests it's actually sandstone from Scotland. It was a Scottish relic. So this guy came out with a book in 1998, which I had interest in and read back then, and it's called The Antichrist and a Cup of Tea. And this author was thinking that Prince Charles, who's now King Charles, would become the Antichrist, and because, among other things, his coat of arms has the red dragon in here, and a lot of the symbology that fits the symbology from the book of Revelations. There's your little horn there, and all these crowns and different things that he thought this really totally fit what was in the book of Revelations. He goes in great detail on that and several other things about the royal house. There have been some other people come out later and said, no, we think it'll be one of his sons, like maybe Prince William. Possibility. He's supposed to be a popular character, and Charles is no longer popular, but William is. So that's a possibility or whatever. So they can buy a used version of this book now for $179.99. I guess it's kind of scarce these days. It's no longer in print. So let me go kill this and hope some of these other things will open up. But now guess what? Who is creating the digital ID that will be used in Great Britain? It's a company called Multiverse, which it kind of spooks me because I do believe in a multiverse, which is what enables us, in my opinion, to have free will. But anyway, this company that is bringing about the digital ID is being created by the son of Tony Blair. Euan, how do you pronounce it? I don't know. Euan Blair, the son of no less than Tony Blair. Wow. Now, see, this is getting us somewhere. And furthermore, Tony Blair is actively involved in that peace process I was talking about. I never liked Tony Blair. He is definitely of the House of Klaus ilk, definitely a globalist, and he is actively involved in this. In fact, he's got an organization specifically set up for this, and he plans to be there. What's it said about the Antichrist? He's going to sit on the throne in the temple that will be rebuilt. There's no temple there yet. He's supposed to be on the throne of the temple. The time all that was written, I believe that the original, the second temple was destroyed in 70 AD, which fit with the prophecy of Jesus Christ that not one stone would be left upon another. And Jesus reminded us that, the temple is within you. It's not some bunch of stone. So this whole thing of worshiping a temple is somewhat misdirected. Anyway, but that don't stop them from building one. And that may be something that's coming to pass. Now we're going to change topics a little bit because I just brought up John Fetterman here. Some of you know that we're about to go into a government shutdown. Hey, look at this guy. Don't he look like a Ferengi from Star Trek? Bald head, big ears, those eyebrows. He does look kind of like a Ferengi. But he's the only Democrat that makes any sense. He's from Pennsylvania, senator from Pennsylvania, senior senator from Pennsylvania. A lot of people think he's going to switch parties because he's trying to talk the Democrats and not pushing this government shutdown. The funny thing is the Democrats were always, when the Republicans were trying to push a shutdown to keep the budget down, to keep us from going over the budget ceiling, they always cried and whined, oh, we can't do that. It just can't be done. Now they're all of a sudden in favor of a big government shutdown. You know, they totally switched their tune. And he's telling them that they're on thin ice. It's going to give them a lot of trouble. And let's hope it does. But Trump is planning to use this shutdown for his own purposes that a lot of people think, to fire a lot of government employees. And I think that could be a good thing. We got to reduce the size of government. Anyway, John Fetterman is one of the Democrats that are on thin ice. But anyway, I don't know why I brought this up. I think I'm getting some of my stuff mixed up here. But anyway, so there's a lot of things going on. And one is we got the digital ID. It's something that they've been talking about in the House of Klaus and some of these other people for some time. We've got this predictions of an antichrist. It might be a Tony Blair, maybe his son, maybe Prince William, maybe the none above, maybe it was Nero. But this digital ID is not good any way you slice it or dice it. It's total control. This is Orwellian. It could come on all of us. It's, you know, that and the digital stuff that was being talked about by Klaus and his minion I just showed is pure control. It's putting us in the hive like a board, an ant. Totally Orwellian. It's beyond Orwell, in fact. Yikes, guys. It's downright frightening. Now, I'm pulling this up because I'm also in trouble on this channel, apparently. And I'm going to play this later. But I took and did the live broadcast of the State of the Union straight from this website, the White House website. And the cameras in the chambers are government channels, government controlled, and they provide feeds to other news media and so forth. Typically, it's rare that any news media would have other cameras in there. Some might sometimes for different angles, but they're usually not a foreign channel. So I had a hit on my channel, a claim that I just saw today or yesterday. Apparently, it was filed against me a few days ago against my channel here, the Swivelhead News, claiming that I had took their content. It was a copyright claim, which can lead to a copyright strike. And my issue with that is this was a government broadcast of a government function, and therefore it was public domain. I was real careful to choose not any news media because I didn't want, if you catch the narrative of people talking on other channels, that's copyright. But when you come out of a government website, no, there was no narrative of such. There was no other watermarks other than the White House art watermark in the video I played. But yet they hit me for a copyright strike. I disputed it, and that's where the danger lies. Because YouTube has a policy, if you dispute and you lose, they can shut down your account. Now, my account also includes Green Gregs and Galactic Gregs. It can take me totally off air completely. They can end my channel over this dispute. But I was so incensed by it, I went ahead and disputed it because how can some, and apparently it was some Channel 4. I didn't know what that meant. Channel 4, I mean, there must be hundreds of Channel 4s in the United States. Apparently, though, it's a British channel. Maybe they don't like the fact that I've been on here saying that Brits don't have freedom of speech. Maybe they're just decided they wanted somebody there decided they wanted to attack me, and they thought this was an avenue by which to do so. If YouTube weighs in their favor, I've got a perfect argument. They shouldn't shut me down. They shouldn't put a strike on me. But if Channel 4 disagrees with what I put out, I can be in big trouble. I could go poof, and you'll never see me again. But I just, maybe I shouldn't have. I have in the past, even though I several times where I knew that I was being challenged by something where I knew I was in the right and had rights to what I did, I just either deleted a video or edited out that section of the video. There's nothing to change in that video, maybe a view, but in any event. So I'm at risk here. Just let you guys know I might go poof. I hope not, because I've just put a lot of time and effort into trying to get this channel really going, or these channels. But just some things, if I hadn't challenged that, then they could just pop into anything and claim anything's a copyright strike. And then they could totally shut down your content by doing that, or really mess you up. So I felt like it was time to take a stand. And I hope I succeed with that. Succeed. If I don't, I'm gone. I do have some Rumble channels. I got to figure out how to use them again. They weren't doing too well. And I don't know if it's going to be worth it, to be honest. So I'm just letting you guys know I put myself at risk by doing this. I'm going to stand on solid ground. I'm absolutely right in what I put out there. But I have heard of YouTube ruling against people when the broadcast they were covering was a government broadcast. I don't know. But anyway, that's why I'm showing this White House website. That's what else? I got something else in here. What was this? Oh yeah, my studio. This is kind of the back page. So maybe they want a piece of what I made or something like that. That whole video, I didn't get any. This is the video. I didn't get any super chats on this video. And for the airtime, I only got 44 cents. So they want a piece of the profit of a video. It earned me a whopping 44 cents, a 2-hour broadcast, an hour and 53 minutes and 28 seconds that I earned 44 cents on. Now, there was another case where they said, oh, well, these guys, because it was some music, it was supposed to have been fair use music that was offered by YouTube. I picked it, and then they said, well, there's a copyright claim on that, but it's okay if you'll share the revenue. And it was a small little section of the video, and they gave them half the revenue. It's like, what? You give them half the revenue when the little piece of music they contested on was just maybe a minute out of a hour-long video. But that's what they did. So YouTube got some more strange ways. That's why they slapped me a lot. And that's why they may just take advantage and say bye-bye. They can do that. So I hope not. I'll just show you there was 0 super chats on that video. So 44 cents was AdSense revenue was all I got. Well, this one will come up. I just want to show you guys that in the background, show you some of the stuff that I'm dealing with. It took a lot of my time today to answer that complaint. It wasted a lot of my time. I was planning to produce other video content, but that didn't happen. So all the support I'm giving you guys helps. But check this out, guys. Super chats 0. Seriously, that 44 cents was all I made for a 2-hour broadcast. And that was one of the least amount of times I put in the video. When I'm putting together all the stories, I spend hours and hours, a whole day sometimes ahead of time, just putting the video together. Sometimes that's all I earn, especially on this channel here. It's not that good, but I'm trying to keep my political content over here. Now, I was going to show you some other stuff over here. Where was it? Right here. There's some other things going on. It just kind of churns my stomach. And this tells me that we got a lot of evil in this world. 11-year-old girl and her puppy was brutally attacked by this, basically a whole crowd of people kicking her and everything. And she didn't even want to go back to school. She was so traumatized by it. They beat her real bad. And there's other things like this. New York City woman, 26, repeatedly punched by this guy in a Darth Vader type mask. And more than punch. I don't want to say it all here. But she survived, but maybe because I think somebody passing by saw it and stopped. A lot of times people just don't even stop. They just keep going. So, this is a video. It should have been the other mix. It just goes back to ice. I thought I had this over in the other place. I think this is the Illinois stuff. Comes up, yeah. The big protest in Broadview, Illinois. This is going on now too. So Portland is not the only place by a long shot. So just let you guys see this stuff. This guy traveled from Chicago to be part of that protest. Yeah, people travel around to be part of these protests and all this mess. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this sharing here. We're just gonna chat a minute. There's other things about I don't want to show all this stuff. Stop the share. Well, stop share button don't want to work. Now it does. I had to click it about 20 times. All this stuff churns my stomach. That's how I start this video out. It just, this whole digital ID stuff, we got to resist it up front. We've got to make all our politics, mini ticks. What's a tick? It's a bloodsucker. What's politics? A lot of bloodsuckers. But they need our votes. And there's a whole lot of us that don't want nothing to do with us, probably at least half the country. I would say better than half. We need to make, and this is any country, because they'll try to put this on everybody. Friends in Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Norway, they're trying to make this global. We don't have to have it. We can push back, and we ought to. It's a control mechanism that would make, it will include social credit. Just listen, that guy was playing that was the henchman of Klaus. What he was saying was, if that didn't churn your stomach, that's how these people are thinking. Yeah, and basically he said, you have no soul. Well, if you accept their system, they want to take it from you. But the key part of that is, I believe it's tied into the loyalty oath. That's where you lose your soul. Probably the mark itself, if it don't come with a loyalty oath, might not be that, but it's that loyalty oath. Whoever, do not go there. Guys, we're on the precipice of Civil War, World War III, economic malaise, and then they're trying to put this control jackboot on our necks. We're going to have to be some interesting times. That's all I got to say about it. But there's ways and workarounds. There's a whole lot of us. And I think we can work our way through this. As it is our objective to survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. That's what I always tell you guys. Let me check the chat room and see what you guys say. So the news content for the Coffee Club people in the morning, that was it. I'm going to look at the chat room. If you want to hang on to see the Q&A, you might like to do that. Hopefully, I haven't said anything on here that upsets the platform, YouTube. That's not been the intention. But, I'm just trying to put truth out there and put out that, hey, I got challenged and called down by some Channel 4, over content broadcast over a government website of a government function with the president speaking and no editorializing. And the content section was a snippet straight out of State of the Union. It was Donald Trump talking and nothing else. How does some Channel 4 claim content? They may come up with a way. Maybe they're watching this video. If somebody's got rights to something, then I'd be happy not to use it, to share it, cut it out. But I need somebody explaining to me that, because suddenly that means you can't use any content from a government site and have any hope of not getting in trouble. So that is a problem for digital creators. Now, that is a problem. This platform is exceedingly difficult to work on, especially if you are of the conservative ilk in some fashion. So anyway, let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, Jesse Talbert, how you doing, neighbor? All righty, so it's time now to go through the chat room. Kenny Crowder, $10. I'm using my phone there to look at it. Sasquatch Moon, how you doing there? Mag Rising, Alaska. Arnold, number 4. John Baxter. Morning, swellers. That's what I tell some people. I say, good morning. Like moan. Do Days is in the house. You're up late or early or something, Cali Prepper. John, exactly. Greg, Canada is heading the same way. Canada usually follows that, and you got a lot of people on the left side of the spectrum running your government. Now, some of your provinces like Alberta are looking about breaking away with that. Maybe we get some more conservatism in the United States. We won't go down that road. But I'm not totally trusting Donald J. Trump either. I mean, he's a better choice than the alternatives that were offered to us. But I still got a lot of questions about this whole business with the Epstein files. And there's some strange stuff still about what happened in Orem, Utah, at the Utah Valley University to Charlie Kirk. There's some things with their claims that just ain't quite adding up still. And if you see what the character that was supposed to have been Tyler Robinson jumping off the roof with his Mauser, there wasn't nothing in that bag. That bag was totally floppy. Supposedly, he disassembled it within, but he was up and running just as soon as the shot was taken. So how do you have time to disassemble it and then suddenly, for some strange reason, reassemble it in the woods? Oh yeah, the video that the state showed appears to be doctored. There's a guy on the pedestrian walking. He goes behind the tree and you don't see him anymore. Maybe he just leaned up against the tree and took a nap. It's strange though. A lot of oddball stuff. His shadow disappears. When he's running across the roof, there's a shadow, then no shadow. Oddball stuff. But I actually think the angle was almost in the same direction, but just a little bit more to the right and a higher up. Peak Prosperity channel just put out an excellent video. I've seen a ton of other people claiming this, claiming that. A lot of it just sounds like they want to get a bunch of views, and they're just coming up with everything they can grab and throw out there. Saying what kind of spaghetti sticks to the wall. Spaghetti's not done until you fling it and it sticks to the wall when you're boiling it, right? A lot of it's nonsense. But the guy, Chris over in Peak Prosperity, he's a great analyst. May not agree with him, but he does very thorough analysis. He's got an interesting video he just put out. Of all the ones that's out there, I give him a lot of credibility. So Magna Carta, the people's rights. Yeah, we still have rights, John Baxter. Supposed to. Or also, really? The Rothschilds? Oh, yeah, go back and look at the Balfour Accord. And look what the name is around the Parliament building of Israel, the Knesset, the Rothschild. Oh, yeah, we got that on the names. Why? Rothschilds paid for those buildings. So they got folks believing I think that the Mossad, involvement by the Mossad, is probably why we have a lot of cover-up going on with the Epstein files. And why else would we cover things up, not release things? And some think they had a finger with this Kirk business because Charlie Kirk had been very pro-Israel. He kind of switched a little bit. He wasn't happy with Bibi Netanyahu. A lot of Israelis are not happy with him. He thought he went a little overboard. Even Donald Trump's called him on the carpet for that. Theoretically. 180 degrees out of sync. Up is down. Jesus is not the true Son of God. It was Lucifer. That's what they want to talk about, right? And let's see, it was the same old switch to RU to confuse the people, forcing them to choose a side when the heat is on. Nuggery and kibbles. What you talking about there? But you got to be an old follower of my channels to copy that. Protests ain't achieving crap because arrogance ain't even listening. Yeah, well, they never did. What did they accomplish with the Floyd riots other than burning a bunch of cities? Did they actually accomplish anything worthwhile? Got some police defunded. Oh, that was great and wonderful. They want to take your rights for self-defense from you, throw the borders wide open, and defund the police. And everybody that goes into courts for doing mayhem is catch and release. No, You know, bails, you know, no cash bails and catch and release. Look where that's got us. But they tell us, the people that say, oh, we're the party of love. You guys are the haters. But because you say some words, then we just got to end your life. But all the people celebrate. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but it's the words that really hurt me. You know, let me put it this way. In the marketplace of ideas, everybody should be able to sit down and have a discussion about whatever you believe, whatever you think, and debate it. Fair, open, and honest. If your ideas have any merit, they should survive. If you can't debate your ideas in the marketplace of ideas, then your ideas are bankrupt. If your ideas have to exist by squelching other people and shutting them up, then your ideas are bankrupt. I would submit that these people have a lot of bankruptcy between their ears. They got mush melon minds because they can't debate. Oh no, they got to shut down the discussion because if somebody puts another idea out there, it might sound good. Somebody might believe it. Isn't that interesting? Why is it that you can't have a fair and open debate? That's what Charlie Kirk was trying to do. He was going to college camp. He would hand his microphone to people that disagreed with him. Talk to them. They didn't like that. No. Interesting. Because he was having some discussions. People couldn't stand him. And then they were justifying, rationalizing all over social media. What happened to him? Like as if he deserved it. Political violence is not right on either side of the spectrum. Unless you're defending yourself. I mean, like your life. But that's not where we're at right now. We may be heading there as this whole thing escalates. That would be scary. It's not what we need. Just wonder if all those military brasses had their devices hacked by Panda Land. Hey, maybe what I need to call it now. Maybe I won't get so much trouble here. Panda Land. Yeah. Maybe I could just start calling G Head Panda. Or Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. We'll just call him Winnie the Pooh. And then we'll call this country Panda Land. Maybe that's what we'll do. Winnie the Pooh. The devil is arriving via meteor. Hey, maybe. Tell you what, if that thing slows down, watch out. Watch out. You know, the New Jerusalem is supposed to be 1,200 miles on each side as a cube. It's supposed to be huge, a lot bigger than what we're seeing here. Godless and ignorant. Yes. Cali Prepper. He made OS threats against law enforcement officers and federal. Yeah. Brutalisms and thuggery, and people agreeing with it's crazy. See, guys, that reflects the mental state of this country right now. We're in a very bad situation. It can be quite devastating where we're at right now. Hey, Chewy Weather's in the house. Protected since it's the unprotected. Digital ID will slow trolls. Yeah, but makes the government the big troll. Will troll your mind. Schwab said before he stood down, we must accelerate. Oh, yeah. He figured he had all his minions in place and they would do what he wanted. Thank you, New Days, for sharing my link there to defythegrid.com. Just make sure you use the code GreenGregs to get your 1% off. Every little bit helps, right? Fools don't see. Well, you got that right, Adam. All workers will take the card. There will be no resistance. Very little. I'll tell you, it'll be like when he came around with a shot, and maybe that was the test. Those that took it will probably take the ID. Those that didn't, well, those of us that didn't would be less inclined. Let's put it that way. I mean, I thought I was going to lose my job, but I was willing to lose it too. I was not going to go there. John Lodes saying they disagree with government in one breath, but then showing they actually agree. Mixed, yeah, crazy. $2029, say, that's interesting. That's the same year the Vatican will be celebrating the 100th anniversary since the regaining their political powers from Mussolini back in 1929. I don't know, maybe. You know, there is the Antichrist, there's the statue that talks, which may be a robot. I've always thought that was a robot. And there's the false prophet, that many think will be there in the Vatican. That's what Hal Lindsey taught. There's also prophecy about Rome getting a big hit and the Pope fleeing the city. Is he Jewish? I don't know. I'll check out Tony Blair. But, you know, it might be part of this argument of being from the lost 10 tribes. A lot of people think that fits Great Britain and United Kingdom, United States, being from, think that we have ancestry from the tribes of Manasseh and Ephraim. Nobody else with these. When we know these 10 tribes went into Assyria, the Assyrians captured and took them into Assyria. So how do you get that from all these other? I don't know. That's a stretch to me. We don't know what happened to those people beyond that. Uh-oh. They will sure have some wild fantasies. Oh yeah. U.S. is not your personal property. Carolina Terry says, oh, U.S. is not your personal property to believe it's nobody's business if anyone just enters the country. What are we talking about here? A lot of people are picking on John. What's John saying? Oh, it's disagree with government in one breath. Oh, you guys are having a debate here, it looks like. That's the scariest thing I've seen in a long time. Hey, Jacob. Yeah, this whole thing. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, what I'm showing you is if this don't wake you up, this is a very frightening scenario that I put before you tonight. There's no other way to look at it. How do we build an EMP nug to take out those robots? Oh, microwave weapons. They've used microwave weapons on drones. I got an article. I might bring that up next time I go live on Green Greg's. That's one of the articles I've pulled up. Alan Mayer Jensen, hello from Denmark. How's it going in Denmark? You got like 500 drones flying around out there from my last reading. Airport's been shut down. Alan, what's happening there? I'm going to cover that on Green Greg's next time. I thought about it. I thought I was going to get this video out earlier and do a live on Green Greg's tonight. I just couldn't pull it all off. Well, the revival of the Christian faith worldwide with the Charlie Kirk, often the mark of the system isn't going to be willingly accepted. Well, there's a lot of resistance in the United Kingdom. Let's hope the resistance prevails. The organization that Adam Weishaupt put together was founded in 1776, the same year as the United States, but it's May the 1st, not July the 4th. So that's part of why they like to celebrate May Day. Tony Blair is also a member of what? Yes, he's definitely in the House of Klaus. Which I always call the WF that, the House of Klaus. If you hear me talk about the House of Klaus, that's what I'm talking about. Yikes. Yeah, they're trying to force it, but people can hopefully keep them from doing it. If not, we hopefully can find ways around it. Well, new days. That may be why they want to take the United States down. Oh yeah, I saw another quote today somewhere in my reading the hundreds of articles I read every day. There's a quote that no nation has ever survived when the interest on its debt exceeded cost of their military. That's where we're at. So this whole WW3 thing, maybe I'll design the whole globalist thing doesn't work with America in the picture. All us freedom-loving individuals don't fit in their picture, just like that henchman of Klaus I was showing earlier. You know, he said free will, freedom, free will, your soul. He said that's all going to go away. You can't take your soul unless you give it to them. But if you read the book of Revelations, once you give your loyalty oath and take the mark of the beast, you're gone. That is not going to be recoverable. Did we just get another super chat? We did. Hey, Christy. Good morning, Greg. First time watching, tried reaching you. I was one to watch. See, I was one who was buying Stillwell. Oh, really? I was one who was buying Stillwell. Great content, fellow prepper. Yeah, I sold it. The guy totally rebuilt that place, and he's asking way more than twice what he gave me for it. Yeah, he cut down my nice little persimmon trees and probably all the fruit trees I had, and took out my mushroom building, greenhouse. I've heard even he plowed over the well. Why would you do that for? That's nuts. I don't know, Christy. I haven't been there since I left the day I sold it. I haven't been back in Alabama since. I'll go back. I meant to go back Christmas and I had a vehicle problem. I do want to see what they've been doing there. So salute, Christy Miller. Thank you. First time watching. Anyway, so I will I will I got another channel, Green Greg's. You'll see me there too. And I got a Galactic Greg's channel. If YouTube don't shut me down, like I said, I just disputed a copyright claim. And when you lose those disputes, you're at risk of non-existence. But what I was using was totally open source. It was government content. So how can they claim a copyright to that? I don't know. Anyway, so again, thank you, Christian. I appreciate it. Got 2 super chats tonight. That's awesome. And I will check my email shortly to see if somebody is lurking in here. He might have been generous in that regard. I don't know. So let's check through the. Well, good to see somebody from. So, Christy, are you in the Tony area? Are you looking to buy the house there now? From the guys, you can do a lot with that place. Adam, stay in Christ. Timothy Bill, howdy, Timmy. Excuse me. Church Milton. No. No, for 2,000 years. You guys, yeah. You know what? That's one thing about this whole Kirk thing. Now we know where everybody's at. Now you know where everybody stands. Well, that and also who took the hokey pokey, as Black Scout Survival calls it. Who took the hokey pokey, which is you know what I mean? So yes, sir, they can't debate All they have is their Marxist brainwash. It's so true. And here's another thing. They're really a sad state because I got some video. I got to find it and pull it up. I've seen it several times before, and I saw it again sometime today and some of the stuff I was going through. It's probably on there. Probably one of those X's I shut down. The communist and also the Nazis, they do the same thing. Communists and Nazis do the same thing. They use people, useful idiots, to get them in power. Once they get in power, they know these guys aren't game players. They want people who can run their country. They eliminate them. They always do, without exception. They eliminate them. All these people think they're going to get a piece of the pie. They'll be in charge when they get their little system put in. Oh, no. It don't work that way. Never has, never will. Anyway, sad, sad. It's not the answer to anything. Truly, I say to you, I am he. Yes. Antichrist comes first. Well, it looks like we may be on the verge of it. This digital ID, who is it? What do y'all think? Who do you think it is? Do you think we know who it is yet? Do you think we can figure it out? Yeah, I would imagine it's a major world player, somebody that's been big in world politics. Sasquatchman, pray for your channels. Well, yes, folks, thank you. Do that, please. Please pray that I get to stay on the air and keep bringing you guys these messages, because I did put myself at risk disputing that. But it's like, I had to draw a line and say, there's lots of them I just gave up. And it's okay. He claims this, cut it out. Delete the video, cut it out. It's not like nobody's watching that video anymore. They might now since I brought this up. Nobody's watching it. It's not earning anything. It earned me a whopping 44 cents. But yikes. See Lady Liberty with chains broken on its foot. Well, I think the broken chains should be a sign of liberty, but broken chains. Beautiful property. Didn't buy. May not be in Alabama, but I'm glad you were one who was there and found you. Okay, Christy, appreciate that. So you're in Alabama now and you're thinking of leaving? Yeah, they're asking a pretty, they made it all look real super spiffy. They're asking a real pretty penny for that place. Like I said, more than twice what he gave me. But they're going to have a school there and all kind of other stuff, so I'm sure he'll get it. See the cracked Liberty Bell. YouTube won't close you down, sir. Let's hope not. Yeah, right. Yeah, everybody pray that we can keep this coming to you. Hope they keep the front porch. Yeah, that's staying on. Best feature of your place in Bama. Yeah, the front porch is still there. I think the decks are still on it in the back. They took off my little room I added back there. And they put a fence around part of it in the back. So I don't know what the idea is there. Check my Telegram. Okay, Arnold. I'll do that after the video here. Hang on. I will, just in case I hadn't seen anything possible here, but just in case, I will check my email, my other email. Some people do give through my website. I'll know in a minute. I'm kind of thinking if Kim was in here tonight. Not tonight. Anyway, that's okay. But I like to give credit where credit's due. So if anybody was doing that, I like to give them credit, just like I give credit to Super Chat. I missed that one night. Kim did not mention anything when she was in the chat room. She made a nice donation, so she's been a big supporter. No matter, don't work that way, sir. They take the dumb ones and line them up. Well, they've taken, Hitler and And the communist leaders, they all took their minions that put them in power and eliminated them. And there's a video of one of the ex-KGB agents talking about that. I got that somewhere. But you can read the history. It's happened over and over and over. So this idea they got that they think they're going to get them a seat of power in this new whatever. No, they're not. No, they're not. Alcurad, 1776. Greg, did you know that I'm banned? Somebody else say something. I can't see what. There's a heart there. I'm banned from something. So, somebody else say hi. There's someone or something. See Alan's comment come up. Maybe I'll pull it here on this other app. I can see it. Ding, ding, ding. Open up this thing. So I don't see his comment here. I don't see any comments yet. There they are. Just loaded. I'm banned from hell. Well, that's good. Yeah, there you go. Well, you know what, guys? You got a soul. If you don't give it away, they can't take it. Unless they pull you into the house of evil. But if you take that loyalty owed to the Antichrist, you're gone. Now, actually, Nero, some of the historians said Nero actually did have a tattoo that he put on people as a loyalty sign. It had to do with some of the buying and selling. It wasn't anything like what can be done today. So, all right, thanks for the waving there. Smile there, Wendy. Hello. So, all right, I'll check Telegram here real quick. Yeah, I don't check my apps too often. Oh, I got a bunch of texts from Arnold. Okay, Arnold, I'll get back with you in a little bit on all that. So, Antichrist may or may not be in the chat. Yeah, we put his name, we put him in the thing. Yeah, you may be watching. I got your name. Well, that's all right. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. For I have my nug and my staff. I have my nug and my smoke pole. And protection of my soul from a greater power. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. So, and I have the full knowledge that they can't take it unless I give it to them. And I ain't giving. All right. Math, 1820. What's that all about? Jesse Tower, any plans for the ham radio on your new property? Getting the ability to listen can be valuable in an emergency. That's something I need to go into. I haven't done ham yet. Although I've used ham in a lot of my rocket projects and balloon projects, but I had some of the best ham people in the world doing all that for me. So I've never used it personally, but yeah, it's an idea. There's another radio format that's real popular here in the White Mountain area. It's not ham. What's it called? I can't remember top of my head. The guy who, kind of laid out the idea for the house I live in. He was a big user of that, and he passed away. I think you might have seen him on Rex, and he was a friend of Rex and Diamond too, and they came down here to see him before he passed away. I couldn't get out here in time for that. His ex-girlfriend passed away recently too, which was kind of sad. Yeah. Yeah, we called him Old Geezer. Old Geezer, he didn't want his real name released. That's not his real name. I know his real name. He came out here. He helped me. He was physically disabled, but his brain wasn't. He had a lot of good ideas. he contributed to the beginnings of this house, this tiny home. His ex-girlfriend, she did come here and see it after I got it pretty much finished. But neither one's with us anymore, unfortunately. Good souls. Sad to see them gone. Workers in the vineyard. Are we in Vinland, my friends? So bless us and save us, said Mrs. O'Davis. She fell down the stairs like a sack of potatoes. Wow. Oh. Yeah, that might be a good idea, Jesse. I got so many projects I'm trying to get going, though. That's going to have to come a little bit later. I got several projects I'm trying to start simultaneously, and it's kind of overwhelming me. But I am hopefully getting chickens Monday. I just got a chicken. I think I made a video. Hopefully, I didn't cut it off accidentally midway into the video. I kind of walked around and did an update video. I might post it tomorrow on Green Grids. Those updates and homesteading videos, they'll actually kind of mess my algorithm up. I need to put all that content on another channel at some point. So it's debatable about doing that. I need to start a couple of new channels down the road. One that focuses just on prep, just on grid down, how to survive it, what to do, and maybe one on homestead. So I need to split my content up. Shortwave radio. There's this particular name for what is it called? GMRS. What is that? It's can't remember exactly. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. We weren't given a spirit of fear. I said, bring it on, people worldwide are ready to shut them down. Amen. It's a holy war, 1,400 years old. And it probably goes back to the beginning of time. Yes. 6th and 9th hour. We could blot out the sun. There's so many of us. Hey, our prayer is very powerful, guys. Do not forget that. Power of prayer alone. All right, what are you doing? Talking Tommy, you're talking Italian there, Mad. Latin. Not Italian, Latin, I take it. Translate, please. For the Lord's vineyard. Oh, okay. Yeah, he talked about the great wine press, didn't he? When it's ready to harvest. Well, maybe close to that. Chickens, that's great. Oh yeah, I'll have some eggs, and maybe I'll have raise a few little chicks. Might have, a little protein there. So I got my garden going somewhat. I planted watermelon back in June, and it wasn't sprouted. My watermelons just sprouted. It was too hot in June when I planted them. They just sprouted, at least 2 of them. I'm like, oh my God, you cannot make it now. You waited too late. Anyway, in the garden. Alrighty, guys. Anybody got an idea who the Antichrist might be? Was it Nero? Is it going to be Tony Blair? Or Bibi Netanyahu? Or somebody we got no clue of? I don't know. The possibilities are pregnant. Let's say it that way. Chicken. Yeah, okay. GPRS. That's it. GPRS. That's what it's called. So, by the Lord's grace, amen. First week till the first freeze here. Yeah, 1 week. Yeah, we could get a freeze here. If it hits now, I might have one butternut squash. I got several spaghetti squash of various sizes, and I got a few little pumpkins. If it hits early, I'm not going to be making a lot out of the garden except for my experience. We'll have to see. I got beans that are been blooming. Whether they make it or not, it's going to be a big question. I knew the whole thing was an experiment this time. I got a late start on it. It should have been in the ground here you need to put stuff in the ground just as soon as you're past the frost season, because if you don't, it struggles. It struggles. It was just so it got hot. I was reading the data for this area, and it's not supposed to get over 95 typically. And through the whole month of June, it was like 99 every day, 99, 99, 99, 99. And it was hot and it was dry. I had to water my garden every day. I'm gonna have to redo how I do the beds. So I'm gonna have to do that. And I gotta get some wood chips. So let's see, too busy prepping to worry about who it is. Well, you know what? That's a good point. That's a good point, Jesse. That's a good point. You know, the big thing is just get yourself ready. Whoever it is really don't matter that much. Just know that something's coming. And even if it's not all that, like I said, digital ID is a bad thing any way you slice or dice. It's going to take your freedom. And if you listen to what that guy's, whatever that guy's name was, it was the henchman for House of Klaus. I brought him up in the past on some videos. He's talking about taking your free will. Seriously, it would be a hive mind. That's what they want to create. Have 20-year-old cow poo back gold. Now there you go. Let's see. Software defined radio, $30. Module need a PC to function. Okay. Greg, do you want to know the reason I'm barred? Well, why is that, Accurate? Why are you banned from hell? Free will. Its wife pleaded. Adam, here you go. Oh, Pilate was a weak believer. Oh, okay, that could be. Pontius Pilate didn't want to do the dirty deed. It was the Pharisee and priests that pushed it. Because who did Jesus Christ really rally against? The Pharisees. Everybody thought he was there to overthrow Rome. Well, Rome became the beacon of the faith. It was the Pharisees that he was after. And some say the oral tradition carried by the Pharisees was later written down into what's a Talmud or whatever, that it's got some really disgusting things in it when I hear it. And I think it was what they call a Frankist movement or something like that. At one time, the Jews thought they had their Messiah in Europe, but the guy turned around and converted to Islam. But they had some kind of big faith movement going, and the Red Shields apparently were all involved in that, spun off from that. We do today know as the Rothschilds. So there is suggestions that the order of the world that's considered so new had its origins in the Pharisees. So Jesus may have actually been attacking the root of them, which is what's behind the entire globalist thing today. Maybe that's why he showed up when he did. So that was his chance to highlight that. That's why he washed his hands after rendering the verdict. And that didn't help, though, did it? I destroyed 3 out of 7 rings of hell and took out the feasting hall and the gluttony ring, the all-terrain tactical enforcement. Yes, I used a main cannon and bulldozed 3 rings. Yes, we do hate some, don't we? Hate's who, man? Hate is one of those things that can pull you into that stuff. I always thought Star Wars had an interesting thing in it, and that you may not realize it, but it was Anakin, which sounds like the dark angels from the Bible, the almost. Sith sounds like Seth. But Anakin Skywalker is one who built C-3PO. He was a protocol droid, so he was all about language and linguistics. And the Antichrist was supposed to create a talking robot. So, but it's kind of like they were pulling from Revelations a little bit, right? In Star Wars. Luke, I'm your father. I don't know. Really twisted story there. So, so much for all that. Alcaret, I really don't know what you're talking about. 3 out of 7 rings. Feasting hall, gluttony ring. I'm not quite on board with what you're talking about. I don't even understand that. So, all right, guys, we've had a real good chat session tonight. There's 69 people in the house, according to this. And we've been on for 106 minutes, which is probably long enough. I got to hit the hay. Sun gets me up here at 6 a.m. every morning. That's 4 hours now. And I don't have much sleep all week long. Yeah. There we go, that Latin again. Gnosticism, all about words they make up. Star Wars, good one. Anyway, yeah, I guess there's some claim there's power in words, like that old DOGE and I don't know. So, guys, of course, Elon Musk is making talking robots. Well, we'll be talking. But then there's a lot of other robot makers. Red Dragon Country, Panda Land, they're doing a lot of that. Grace for Purpose, that's a good name. Prayers always. Amen to that. Oh, you got the demons. I found a way to do that myself. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a whole nother topic. I'm not going into it. Sounds like a video game. Yeah, the name of Jesus Christ can render the demons useless. Okay, guys, just keep that in mind. Golems. Yeah, really and truly, a lot of them have been trying to make the golems for a long time. And those guys who were, who was that guy who was the head staffer, the chief of staff for Hillary? He was all into that. They called it spirit. They had a word for this whole thing. It was nasty too. Spirit. What was that terminology? Some of you guys might remember. But anyway, nasty stuff. I have to think about that again. But yeah, they were actually trying to make figures out of clay, and they were putting blood and urine and fecal matter in them and all kind of mess. Thought they could bring them to life with certain rites and different things. A nasty concept. Anyway, video game. Oh, maybe. So, but golems, yeah. So C-3PO may be a golem. So, anyway, I don't know, guys. Good night, Wendy. Let's see. The power of words made manifest. Oh, that's it. Spirit cooking. That's it. Bingo. I knew somebody would bring me to it. Spirit cooking. Demons and aliens. Yeah, they're one and the same. They're one and the same. Must chip in the head, all about transhumanism, bad system. Yeah. Could be something to it. And then there's a Peter Thiel. And he's been having all kind of meetings about the Antichrist. Supposedly to prevent him from coming into power while he builds the mechanism that would give him power. Plantier. Oh, guys, weird stuff. We're in a weird day. That's all I can say. Times you couldn't write a science fiction novel about what's happening and how people believe it. I mean, there you go. This is too crazy. We are living in some really odd, strange times. So tell me, when I get the chickens, should I walk around and do an egg count like my buddy over with the Pepper Nurse one, Ed? I love his channel, guys. He's got a good channel. Pepper Nurse one. He likes to do his egg count in his videos because I'm gonna have 12 land hens. But yeah, Podestas. That's their name. Those two brothers. Yeah, one of them was in that exercise. What would they call that? Where they did a simulation of a big pandemic right before the bug broke out. Yeah, John Podesta. John Podesta. Thank you. My memory is a little rocky tonight, so appreciate the help on that, guys. Good night and good morning. That's right. Hey, Elton, how you doing? We enjoy you, Realty. It's quite entertaining for us. I try to be informative and entertaining. I really do. I do have the opinion that it's like New Day's put it out there. You know, we can't give in, and just can't do it. But you know, you can't live in fear. Like I've told you, there are many channels that tell you don't panic now, but I'll tell you when to panic. You never hear me say that because I always say never panic. But sometimes I put news out that might be panic. It might make people want to panic. Don't panic. Better keep your wits about you. Like you got some big guy wanting to fight you. If you panic, he will definitely smash you. But if you got your wits about you, you got an edge. And we got to have that edge. Especially today. Event 201. That's it. That's it. All right. Definitely strange times. Stay strong and courageous. All amen to that. Fear, delicious fear. Yeah, we don't need fear, guys. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Be prepared. But being prepared includes beans and rice and bullets, kibbles, and nugs. But it also includes your being right with your maker. It includes telling your loved ones you love them every chance you get. It includes a lot of things. It's a lot more than just a physical. We're in a spiritual war. We still ain't quite figured out yet which came first, the chicken or the egg. The egg. Let's see. I don't fear them, but they might fear me. There you go. Eat fear like St. Michael. So that's just it, guys. Don't be afraid. If you are in trouble. But you better be aware. Be prepared. Always keep your eyes wide open, head on the swivel. Well, now we know that means looking at rooftops around you too, making sure there ain't some shadowy figure up there. You might want to do something awful. It means your situational awareness today needs to be very high. I mentioned the MAGA guy wearing a red hat in Portland that somebody walked up behind him, some coward. He never saw him. He just fell down. Took his last breath. Didn't even know it's coming. Like that girl on the bus from Ukraine. She didn't know that was going to happen to her. She was on her phone. Yeah, you got to don't let your guard down these days, folks. Don't let your guard down. You remember him well. I'm more likely to be heavily supervised by St. Michael myself when I arrive in heaven. Okay. All right. Well, it's Michael the Archangel. He is the warrior, right? I'm at a state of mind where my angels are much more powerful than their demons. There you go. There you go, Adam. I ain't got no use for them gray little demons. Just trust in God's word and the faith in Jesus Christ. Keep your faith and talk to God every day. There you go. Alrighty, folks. I think we beat this horse enough for tonight. We'll probably talk about the military spectrum of all this tomorrow or the next day. And we'll talk about, I got a lot of material pulled up to address on that. So that requires some look-see, but this is a topic that's so political, I didn't want to cover it over on the Green Greg's channel. This is the channel I did the more political content on. And so I just thought I'd bring it over here. Get as many views, unfortunately, but my real core people do watch over here. So this is a message to the core of our family. We're in the garden, or gardener in the war, either way. God doesn't respond to us down here, and well, he'll respond to your spirit when you go there, whatever the case is. Now, we've had some good effect with prayer now. Really have, especially when the group pray. You get 2 or more people praying, can make things happen. So, God, so say some prayers to me tonight that my channel stays on the air. That this, yeah, they've supposedly I put my dispute out there and the reasons for it, and the claimant has a month to respond to it. So we might not see anything for a month. If I'm still on here 6 weeks from now, unless we got some other escalation in that process, and I'll let you know, then I should maybe be okay, at least from that challenge. So be here tomorrow, sir. Thank you. I will try to be here tomorrow from Denmark. Yeah, it's good to see somebody from Denmark in the house. That's great. Those demonic holes gave me a title. All right, Jesse, good to see you in here. My neighbor from Arizona. Thank you, New Days. Appreciate that. All righty. Go back to my control screen here. So I really want to say thank you, super chatters. Thank you, mods, for keeping the channel clean. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please share my videos far and wide. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, bang the bell, and click all. But, you need to come back and check occasionally, make sure you're still subscribed. And moreover, to see if I've got content up here on Green Greg's. I do post more on Green Greg's these days because I've decided, one time I was planning to put all the news over here, but I had a couple other big channels. So, no, you got the momentum over there. You need to keep the news on that channel and take your other content and spread it around. So I'm going to give that a try. I got that advice from 2 channels that are far more successful than mine in terms of subscribers and views. Views is what really counts, not really subscriber counts. I got more views back when I had like 18,000 subscribers. But we know they turned the game down on us when loyal watchers, if you try to watch every video, don't get notifications. That tells you that the algorithms aren't quite what they tell you. So anyway, Timothy Bill, thank you. All right, yeah, once again, thank you, super chatters. Thank you, mods, and thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure you may leave comments after I post the video in the comment section below. Reply to somebody else's comment. All that stuff helps the algorithms. And to one and all, have a good night, good day, wherever you are. Ho, 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 for Granny Atlanta. And